In today's video, I want to talk about the lossless compressed versus the uncompressed files with the Fuji X-T2. I've seen some videos on YouTube where people have compared them shot for shot, but not actually delved into the editing. There's got to be a reason why the uncompressed files are 20 to 25 meg more than the lossless compressed. So if you hang about, we're going to do some editing. I'm going to share the files as well, so you can download and play them with yourself. This is not about me proving anyone right or wrong. This is purely just to see, in my opinion, if it suits my workflow. And who knows, it might even suit your workflow. Let's get to it and let's start editing some pictures. So we'll just get these images into Lightroom now. I've had to split the folders into lossy file and an uncompressed file, just so I can color code them so we know what is what. But just to show you, here we've got the, if we just go to details, so these are actually the lossy files because the size of the file is a lot lower. And then we've also got the uncompressed file or files, which, as you can see there, are virtually about 20 meg per file more. So it's going to be interesting to find out exactly what those files hold compared to the other ones. Let's bring those in now. And we'll just import from the desktop. We'll download the lossless versions first. And I think we'll just give those a color code. Okay, so the red files are now the lossy files. Let's go ahead and import the uncompressed. And I think what we'll do with these, we'll just mark them as green. Okay, and we'll go into all of them. And we'll just set them by capture time. So you can see that the green is uncompressed versus lossy. This is the lossy version. It's because I didn't change it over. I didn't see the point until we took the picture, then changed it over to compressed. That's why it kind of runs sequential. But all you need to know basically is that the green is the uncompressed and the red is the lossless compressed. So we've got all the images into Lightroom. Just remember, the green are the uncompressed and the red are the lossless compressed. The lossless compressed are about 20 meg smaller. So I'm hoping, or I'm presuming to see that the full green files should have more detail, but I literally don't know what we're going to see, so let's just see what we get. The first scene isn't probably the best scene, just simply because there isn't anything close up, but if we just pump up maybe the shadows, give it some vibrance. Let's drop, there isn't really any highlights, but let's just drop the highlight. I'll tell you what, let's just drop it all completely down, just simply because I want to push it all to the max. Give it a tiny bit of contrast. And we'll just leave it at that. I'm not really that bothered. Don't want to add no sharpening or clarity. And we'll go to the lossy file. We'll just paste exactly the same so it looks identical, and then we'll just compare them. Okay, so what we've got here then, so we've got the 211, so on the right is the full raw file, and on the left, which is a 212, is the lossy file. I'm going to zoom right into this tree here and here, and okay, I can't see any difference at the moment, like nothing. That's quite surprising. I thought I would have seen something. Okay, let's skip on to the second scene. Okay, so we're on scene 2. So first of all, I think the best thing to do, let's just try and compare before we do any edits. So this is the full raw version versus the lossy on the left. So zoom in and zoom in. So this is with no edits. As you can see, everything is just zeroed down to how it came out of camera. Both to me look really, really clean, really, really good. To me, they look perfect in regards to the similarity. That is not my photography. So I think what we'll do now, we'll just edit. Again, let's just really open up those shadows. Let's drop the highlights a little bit. Pump the contrast. It'd be interesting to find out if we really can't really overexpose that as such, but let's give this one a bit of clarity. And I think to get a bit of vibrance, maybe. Interestingly enough, I'll tell you what, let's add, to see if it makes any difference, an actual Fuji filter. Let's add Velvia. Okay, that's made it a bit too vivid, so let's just drop down that vibrance a little bit. Okay, and let's do the same with the lossy file. So exactly the same, paste the settings, so everything's exactly the same, and I'll make sure Velvia, yep, Velvia's on there. And let's begin to compare. So 114 is the full raw, and 113 is the lossy version. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. By the way, all these pictures were on a tripod with the 1655 2.8 at f8 at ISO 200. All I done was after the shot, it's just changed from compressed sorry, from uncompressed to lossless compressed. But looking at these files, to me they look super sharp. I mean, both of them do. I can't see any difference whatsoever with any of these files. I don't know if you guys can, but I really can't. Let's just try in with some of the colours. See if there's any difference in detail. See, to me, and it can't be right, but the lossy version, which is on the left hand side, 113, looks to be a bit sharper and a bit more detailed, but I can't see how that's possible. So maybe it's just the light. Maybe the light changed in that split couple of seconds of me changing. Okay, so let's move to scene 3. So again, we'll just compare the two. So this is the full raw file versus the lossy on the left. And if we zoom right in there and right in there, cannot see any difference. I really can't. I'm not sure if your eyes, I've got really good eyesight actually, and I really can't see. That still looks a bit sharper. But it can't be. Can it? Why would a file that is... Why would a lossy file that's got 20 meg less data be sharper and have more detail? It doesn't make sense, does it? So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just edit and then compare them. So again, let's really open up all them shadows so we can get right into the nooks and crannies on that tree stump. Let's drop them highlights down a little bit. Like that. A bit too much. Let's get a bit of contrast. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's give it a bit of clarity. And on this one, I'm actually going to give it some sharpening, because I actually do use a lot of sharpening sometimes. Just stick it up, tell you what, let's just stick it up to about 50. Go to the lossy file, paste the settings. Okay. And let's have a look. Compare. Okay, so again, this file 2116 is the raw, the full raw, and 2117 is the lossless. So let's zoom in. That's the lossless I've just zoomed in, and this is the full uncompressed. So even with editing, I cannot see a difference. So where's that extra 20 meg gone? What have they removed? It's really interesting, isn't it? Oh, if you put them two images side by side and I didn't tell you which is which, I don't believe anyone would know the difference. But the funny thing is let's go in these shadows here. See, that does look sharper. The lossless version looks sharper. There's the hole. There's that hole. That looks sharper. Tell you what, let's just come out of these ones. And let's just do the final scene before I make any judgments, or before you guys decide on what you think, because I still think I could be going mad here. Okay, so final scene. Again, let's start with a full raw. Let's compare. Okay, lossy on the left again. So let's zoom in on the lossy first, about this window. And on that window, look about the same. But again, look, that detail there on that little bit of mould, that again looks sharper, sorry, on the lossy version. I haven't imported this in back to front, have I? So 119 is the lossy, which I marked as red. 119, yep, that's the lossy. 120 here, which is green, I've marked, just make sure that's 120. Let's just check the files. So lossy, 119, 119, 22 meg. And you all weren't going mad. Just for, again, sanity's sake, let's just have a look at the uncompressed. So what was that? 120 that RAF. 120, and it's 40, that's 49 meg, right? So that has got 27 more megabytes than that. So how is it feasible that the lossless version looks sharper? Let's just check a bit more. Right, back there. Verses are there. Again, that to me looks more detail. That looks blurred. I don't know if it's something that Lightroom's doing. I know a lot of you guys use Iridium Developer, but I don't have a Mac. I use Windows, and this is just because of my workflow. I have heard Iridium is actually better, but I simply don't have a Mac, and until it's available on Windows, I'm a bit stuck. But why would Lightroom import larger files at a lower resolution or make them look softer? And that's not just this image, it's on every single image. I mean, I can see because I'm in front of it, and I encourage you guys to download these images, which I'm going to put a link to, so you can play them yourself. Okay, so let's just jump back out of that, and I'll just do an edit just to bring out some shadows. Maybe we'll have a look at some noise as well, just to see if that's where the uncompressed version wins. Okay, so this is the uncompressed. Let's really open them shadows. Let's give it a bit of clarity. I'm not going to add sharpening on this because that one automatically looks like it's already sharper anyway, but you know, let's just leave it how that is. Let's just kill some of them highlights, a bit bright. Let's just pump up the saturation on this one for a bit, just to see. Let's just really pump it up. And the same with the lossy. Okay, so that versus that. Is there a difference in colour? Did I just spot there? No. Okay. So let's compare. So 119. So 119 is the lossless, sorry, and a 120 is uncompressed. Let me just zoom back in here where I had that. I don't know if you can see here, there's like some scratches or some like a cobweb. I think that's scratches of the brickwork. But that's you can definitely see those lines sharper than what those are. The brickwork here, sharper. The cable, much sharper. The column here, look how sharp that looks compared to that. That just looks like a blur. Let's try and look at some of these shadows. I can't see anything. just for sanity's sake, let me just add a bit of noise reduction on both images. So let's just give that a bit of noise reduction. It's going to really soften it up, but I just want to check to see maybe there's more information in the file that may make it look better. And the lossy version, again, I'm going to just completely previous them settings so everything's exactly the same. Once it does its thing, so you should now see, once it loads up, yeah, noise reduction's gone up to 25. Okay, and we'll just add them back into compare. If you guys do download these images, I'll really encourage you to please comment. Cannot see any difference. In fact, the noise reduction on the uncompressed looks like a bit of a blurry mess compared to the lossless version, which just looks cleaner. Again, you can tell here in a column, it's sharper. I know for a fact this tripod didn't move. I know for a fact it did not move. But then, why would every other image be different? Sorry, not be different, you know, be sharper. On the lossy version, it must be something Lightroom's doing. If anyone's got Iridium and they want to import these into Iridium, please do so and let me know. Okay, gonna leave it at that. I hope you like that little experiment. It totally opened my eyes as to what files I'm going to be using from now on. Can't quite understand the rationale behind how the lossy files would look better than the uncompressed files. It must be a Lightroom thing. Something must be going on with Lightroom there. Because I can't believe in any way, shape or form as to why they would. Fujifilm's done a fantastic job. You know, hats off to them. Everywhere you read on the internet, everyone says always shoot in uncompressed, don't use the lossy files. And I've seen a few comparisons where there's been a few Nikon files and they have had a little bit of the loss within the file. I can't remember where I saw it, but I definitely googled it and I did see some comparisons. For me, my X-T2 now is always going to be set quite simply on the compressed files, and that's simply because it can save me time importing into Lightroom, and it will give me more burst shots and the buffer won't fill up as quickly, making sure that I don't miss any shots. For all you guys and girls out there, seriously do consider using the lossless files. If anyone out there does use Iridium Developer, I would be so interested to find out if it handles the files in a completely different way. I know it's better. I haven't used it myself, but everyone raves on about it. But it's just not my workflow, so I'm not going to be changing anytime soon unless, you know, it really does come out for Windows and it's really, really good. So that's it for the moment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys real soon on the next one. Cheers. Bye.